Let's go.
Kia ora.
I'll bring up
Kia
your
ora
Facebook
tāno.
so we can. Kia ora. Oh, you ain't talking to me? You're talking to everyone.
Kia ora everyone. No mai, haere mai. Welcome to our Facebook Live with the one and only Pat MacFie. Our very first Kapu Tī series. So hopefully everyone's got their cup of tea. I've got mine. Pat's got his. I'm the boss lady.
I have mine.
And you're forever supporting the Warriors.
There we go.
That's good. Just like Ali.
All in.
Awesome. Hey, look, I'm so glad to have you on, Pat, because I spoke to you about this a couple of weeks ago, and you said to me, just do this, just to start. And so I have, and here we are. So yeah, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much. And, you've got quite an interesting story. And, I think that we often, a lot can come from adversity. And that's really what I want to share stories about, because I know that a lot of our people, they go through adversity, and I think it's a lot about the mindset and, finding the opportunities in that. And I know that you've done that. So I'm really excited about what you're going to share with us today. Cool. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. So
you're welcome.
Let's start off with what it was like growing up as a youngster with you. So I know you were, one of 13, 12?
Well, there was 12 of us in the house. But that's after my parents got divorced and my mum moved us back to Hamilton. So we were living in a big, well, it wasn't a big house actually, big whānau, but small house. 12 of us. Yeah, that was interesting.
How many? How many in your bedroom? Did you get a bed?
There was, yeah. My brother and I shared a bed. My mum, and I think like one of my cousins was in there as well. There's only 3 bedrooms, so yeah. It was hard because we went, after my parents got divorced, and we went back to Hamilton, and then my mum moved us into that house so we could get a state housing house faster because we were living in extreme circumstances. So even then she was teaching me all the hacks, how to hack the system.
That's cool.
But that was hardcore.
That's cool,
it teaches you how to survive, and just like how to be grateful for stuff, and the freaking law of the jungle as well. Because if you weren't first to the breakfast table, you might not get a Weet-Bix. So it was tough, man. It was tough.
Yeah. But you've obviously learned a lot from that. Your mum's quite the wahine toa.
Yeah, my mum is incredible role model. I think that if you don't tell your mum that, if you haven't told her that you love her and that you appreciate her and you're watching, you should go and do that right now. Everybody go tell your mum that you love them, because they're not around forever. And I think we just take our mums for granted a little bit too much. So love you, mum. And yeah, she was incredible. She put in the hours. She worked hard. Once we got out of our whānau situation where we were all living in the same house, she got us our own state house. She worked 2.5, 3 jobs for most of our sort of teenage lives, saved up a deposit to buy her own house, just working as a cleaner, and went home, built it on the Papakainga. So she had the land, saved the money for the house, and she still lives there to this day. And she's a big part of our hapu, and she's involved in the marae and supporting the community down there in Whatawhata. And she's just cool, man. She's real cool. And I have so much respect for her. And when I was young, I used to hate that place. I used to freaking hate it. It was like in the country. I had to get up at like 5 a.m. to catch the bus to school. And if I didn't want to walk to school, I had to catch my horse in the paddock so I could ride it to the bus stop. So, and if the horse didn't want to come, or like we didn't have a carrot or apple or something, then you have to walk to the bus stop at 5 a.m. It's freezing. And then you have a long day at school, and you get home at like 5 p.m. It's like being an adult, but you're like 13. And then it's rough as guts on top of that. So, but that's all character. Now I look back at it and I go, wow, my kids are privileged. I mean, how are they going to learn how to be resilient if, you know, they spend their whole life just having everything dished out to them on a silver platter? So, but I'm finding a way. Yeah.
How do you go from being a child that you feel that you've maybe felt that you've, you know, missed out, or you didn't have all of those things, and so what stops you from doing that for your children, from, you know, not just giving them everything on a platter and you know, giving them everything that you've maybe felt that you didn't get growing up?
I do give my kids everything. I just give them everything. Like why wouldn't I? What you're going to be tougher because I treat you tough and don't give you shit? No, that's not what life is about. Like, what I learned is that, you know, you can love your kids into building the right qualities. Life doesn't always have to be about the school of hard knocks. Just because I came up that way doesn't mean that's the only way. My kids are probably the most well-mannered children you'll meet. They have everything, but they're not spoiled. And you can ask 100 other people. No, don't just take it from me. You know, just really good, relatable children, like funny, like, you know, and they understand the benefit and the sort of approach to hard work. They see the role models in their mum and their dad doing the work. They understand it takes work to achieve success. And like, I don't think you need to come up hard to build good human qualities. That's just like, you know, all men play rugby and drink beer. It's just like, they're really dated cliches that we impose on our children just because it's the way that we came up. Bullshit. You know, let's all learn. Let's find new ways to educate our children. Don't have to give them the love them up. Don't flip and beat them up.
To admit that you know, not that many years ago, even I used to say things like, look, just drink a cup of concrete and harden up and stuff like that, but it's quite different now, really. I feel once you know, you learn and you grow as you get older and more experienced.
Yeah, I used to be like that too. Then you gotta, you know, just look at your kid and understand who they are and understand how they learn, and like, you know, apply all those things that you never had applied to you, but that could have been applied to you to help you become a better version of yourself. If you're raising your kids the same way that you were raised 30 years ago, sorry, but I have to question your theories because shit has moved on. So, you know, we've got to find new ways of doing everything. And I guess that's a constant theme in my life.
So let's talk about this moving on. So you grew up and you spent some time at Xero. How did that come about?
Man, I guess it's just like compounding effort on effort and building a career and experience around a skill that I had inside of the content space, and being ready and receptive and understanding of how the world and opportunities were forming around me, to understand that in my world, I could see a big opportunity coming in the intersection of content and the internet. And I was looking at that in 2008. So 12 years ago, whatever now, we could see that coming, knew it was coming. And I was preparing for that opportunity a long time before people were even considering it. And so I had just put in years and years of effort to get me, because I'm a slow learner. Like, I'm a slow learner. Like, people look at me and go, fuck, you're so fast, like blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm slow on the mastery. But once I get it, I'm phenomenal on it. But it just takes me longer, and I know that. And so I recognize that in myself. And so, you know, it took me 12 years to get to the place now where I feel that I'm ready to do some meaningful and impactful things inside a business that can not only serve like my business objectives and goals, but I think there's just new ways of doing things always. And I think about, you know, you think about social enterprise and you think about impact initiatives, and they're kind of bundled in this for good space. And you know what I mean? They kind of they have to exist of the generosity of others. I believe that if you make impact, then that impact has commercial benefit down the value chain or up the value chain. You just have to find out where it is and then figure out how to shape your value proposition so that you can be the person that derives the commercial benefit from it. And so, for me, it's all about that. It's all about impact in this phase. And so once I put in all of that work and understood where I was and where I was heading, and the zero opportunity came along because I'd been working with them, about 5 years, for 5 years as their sort of primary contractor for content around the world. And so it was kind of a natural segue to go in-house after that. And so that's what I did. And that too was an incredible experience, very formative in the way that I think and operate now, because you don't get it out here in the normal world. It's like a different world in there.
And you talk about content, and I know that, we met a few years ago and you were talking about content then with us, saying just get it out there, like I was saying before, do lots of content. And, you were even saying probably about a year ago that, this is the place to be, and look at where we are at now. And then you went and started Indigo. So how does someone go from zero, earning pretty decent money, I'd assume, start their own small business? Like what goes through your mind to go from comfort to big challenge? Because small business, easy to start a business, not always easy to grow a business or to stay in business. So what sort of mindset, what did you go through? What was your thinking around that?
I think I had to be genuine to myself and acknowledge what I wanted to achieve in life, and realize that wasn't the place any longer for me to be able to achieve what I wanted to achieve. And so I think in a lot of regards, I just outgrew that place. It's a crazy thing to say, but like the direction that it was heading in was not one that was sort of matched to my ambition to challenge and aggressively challenge convention and the status quo every single day. And that's, like I said, that's been my thing, think different, act different, execute to the highest level. And so when you can no longer authentically look at yourself in the mirror and go, yep, I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, then you have to question yourself. And if you look in the mirror and go, okay, I'm just here for the money and the comfort, is that true to me? Is that me being the best version of myself? Is that me fulfilling what I think I can do in this world and who I think I could be? And if the answer is, I'll just take the money, then I'll just take the money. But I can't live like that. I can't live a life just cause, I have to be true to myself. And if I can't, then what's the point? So that's why I finished up in July last year. And I was pretty well prepared though. Like I knew I was leaving for a little while. Since the beginning of that year, I'd signaled to the company and let them know, and they were really good about it. And, we worked on what the organization would look like after I left. And then probably 3 months out, it was like 3 months notice, we started working on the new organization. We kind of broke up the units that I had been operating, and I think it was like 3 people came in the end to replace to me in the role that I had been doing.
3 people to replace that.
3 people, yeah. And then so I was ready to go, and I already had like a client that I've been working on a part-time basis. Really incredible business out of West Auckland, Good Smile Care, great people, and Scott Waghorn. And we were doing work there, and so we kind of just worked out a process, ran a few tests, tested a few sort of hypotheses on how we would build the business, and myself and Monty and my wife Jada started executing, and it was going pretty well. And then COVID.
It was going pretty well.
Yeah.
So tell us what happened when COVID hit, because I mean, lots of people have been hit by COVID, but you did something quite different. So, you know, what did you face first, and then what did you guys do to pivot?
I'm actually quite proud of what we did in that time that we, like, pre-COVID. Like, we were going to, like, have a great first year in business. I think as it worked out, like, our first calendar year, we did over $1 million in revenue, which is pretty good. And then, yeah, we just had this terrible situation, though, where in the course of just like 72 hours, people that were kind of like going, yeah, we're all good, man. It's going to be fine. We're just going to press on with all this work we're doing with you guys. It'll be all good. And then like 3 days later, they ring up, oh, nah, we're putting everything on hold. And like literally it was about $500,000 worth of work that just went on hold or cancelled or, you know, postponed indefinitely. And then we're doing a seed investment round, and that was a $250,000. And those guys just said, look, we got our own businesses to look after. We and quite rightly so, you know what I mean? They were just protecting their primary interests, and so they walked as well. And so at that time had this crew, 11 people, 14 counting all the founders and partners, and we had no business. We had like one client, and you know, we had all these people to pay, mouths to feed, and we kind of looked at the situation and thought, oh, well, you said you're an innovation company, innovate now. Innovate in the face of the pandemic. And so that's what we decided to do. We had a crack at it. And so we decided on the 17th of March that we were going to launch an initiative that would connect small businesses like ours to get advice from really well-respected business people, because we knew that the primary component, or one of the primary components inside of any emergency situation is information. So you think back to any major emergency that there's been, everybody immediately flocks to the news because they want to understand what the situation is. Then they start to comprehend what the situation means to them, and then they have questions. And so, you know, what we understood that this would happen, and so we wanted to be positioned to be able to take advantage of that occurrence once it kicked off. And so on the 17th, we decided to do it. Over the course of that week, we designed up a basic solution that we thought could solve that problem, which was like a forum, just with a bit more, with a level of personalization and a curated group of experts. Andy Hamilton, who's a partner in the business, has got the best Rolodex in small business in New Zealand. And so we contacted all his good mates, who are some of the New Zealand's most recognized business people. They said, yes, we'll be your advisors. Then we're lucky because we've got, well, not lucky, we're just smart. We're just smart as hell, actually. We got, like, Monty's a shareholder, business partner, co-founder. We've got RTS, who's also a business partner. Artie Sevier is also a business partner. Dylan Belcher working in the business. And so we just use these incredible legends of sport to hack social media and bring mainstream social media attention to the Manaaki initiative, which was about helping everybody. And so we launched on the 25th. So just 8 days later. It took us 5 days to turn the platform around, create a brand, get everyone in a couple of days to test it, and then we were away. The wash up is over 100,000 businesses on the platform. 250,000 businesses over that have engaged with our content in that time. Secured funding to develop the business and a new platform. And then also in the midst of that, partnered with Sarah Colcord and New Zealand Made Products to launch Choice, rebrand a New Zealand Made Products Group, launch a e-commerce platform that has been going since the beginning of July. And today, on the last day of July, we're a couple of hours out, but it looks like we'll turn over $100,000 in the first month out of nothing. And that's $100,000 back into the pockets of small business owners around the country that are doing it tough. And so, you know, if you focus, if you execute, if you, people talk about pivot like it's just easy, you know, pivot. Like
Yeah,
pivoting is
sure.
tough to do well. Yeah.
And you
It's really
have done
tough
it
to do well.
you've done it so well. Like you really, like you've completely changed what you have been doing. You were targeting bigger businesses that were going from being $1 million businesses to multi-million, if not billion-dollar businesses, to helping small and medium-sized businesses with some just really small basic queries to bigger queries.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, that's the thing, because like this pandemic, the opportunity here for anyone, like anybody listening to this chat, to this cup of tea corridor, is to understand where we are right now. And so we are in the midst of the biggest disruption to social and economic systems that there has ever been. There has never been a greater period of disruption. And so what that means is the playing field, it hasn't been leveled, but the playing field has been tilted off axis. And so everybody's unbalanced. And in everybody's lack of balance in that disruption, a lot of the big guys that used to own the space have become really unstable. And in their instability, they've opened up opportunities. They've shown vulnerabilities, or the market has changed in response to what's happened. And because they've been so big, they haven't been able to change fast enough. And so that's what we have looked for. We've looked and gone, there's a gap here around small business advice, because normally it takes 3 weeks to 4 weeks to connect to a mentor or to somebody to help you once you're going through the system, and it costs you money. We're doing it in hours, and we've got the best people, not average people, like the best. And so that imbalance provided us with the opportunity. And like now, because we're able to execute well and to get connection and to get scale, like now we're actually one of the players. And like, in March the 25th, we're just like nobody. And, the same thing with choice. Like, yeah. And the same thing with choice is like New Zealand made products is like, it captured a moment around patriotism and helping small business by allowing people to reach a scaled market, to be able to communicate what their business does and sell a whole bunch more stuff.
Yeah.
Now, there's been so many Facebook groups that have come and gone that don't turn into commercial propositions. But, I've seen enough of them to understand what you need to do. And because I've come from a world of platforms and scale, to me, that's just like, wow, that's a really massive opportunity to move into the marketplace space with a really unfair advantage. Like bloody 10% of the New Zealand's population is a member of that group. 10% of the population of the country. What was it? About 18% of all of Facebook's New Zealand users are a member of that group. 14% of all women in New Zealand are a member of that group. So sounds like a pretty good group to start an e-commerce platform from, if you're asking me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we told our clients, we're like, are you on this platform? If not, get on it. Get on it and just post to it, because people are buying from it and people are selling. And so you just got to be on it. And it's just been incredible.
Yeah.
And I think it really has helped a lot of small businesses.
It really has. The vulnerability in its model, just as a Facebook group, though, is that, if there's thousands of posts, thousands, like as high as 11,000 posts, like when you put your post in, you'll number 11,001. So you have to wait weeks or months to get your post up. And that's not going to wash. And so that's why the platform is so much better, is because every day we're pushing, like right now, it's about 10,000 customers, shoppers, going to choice.co.nz, 2 O's for extra awesome. And so we're doing the job of marketing for all those businesses on there. So they don't have to think about, how do I get customers to my website? Don't worry about it. And because we're not charging success fees for micro businesses right now, It's not like it costs you anything for the acquisition. It's just like you have to just tend your store. If you're not up to tend another space, then like, okay, that's fine. But like a lot of people are doing really well on that platform.
I'm really excited because we are interviewing Sarah in a couple of weeks. So I'm really keen to hear her journey and how she's found this, because I bet you it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but also very enlightening and empowering, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's an amazing young woman. She's been a stand for her community and for communities for a long time. Young counselor out south, she's got a heart. She's for service and serving people. So she does really, really, really well. She's a good person. She's on a business journey with us, because just because you know about serving people doesn't mean that you know about business. And so, part of what we do when we bring someone sort of along with us is like we grow. Like we only work with good humans and partner with good humans, but we'll grow you into the business person that you want to be.
Yeah, that's really cool. Before, you mentioned that you wanted, you knew what you wanted to achieve, and I guess your reason for being. So what is it that Pat MacFie is trying to achieve? What are you trying to achieve in life, or at this moment maybe in time?
I think that, to be honest with you, I think as a Māori person, and the same applies to most Indigenous people around the world, is that the prevalent system, the current system, was never set up for us to succeed. And why I like COVID so much, crazy thing to say, and particularly from a business perspective, is that those systems have been disrupted, and it provides us with the opportunity to come in and take back some of that or reshape some of that. And I think that, that's my big goal. My big goal is to play a role in designing new systems that serve us. We talked about this, right? We talked about, like, people talk to me about having a seat at the table. I could give a shit about someone else's table.
Make your own table.
Two shits. I'll make my own table and put all the people around it that I want around it, because that's how the system worked against us. And so why do you want to go sit around that table and be a minority representative on the table and get glad-handed because you're ticking a ethnicity box or diversity box? Got to have a brown woman or an Indigenous young person, or like stuff there. And all the system with its education, whether it's business, they're all systems that were designed from a place that isn't meant for us. But because we're born into it, inducted into it, and have to live inside of it, then we just become a part of it by default. And you need to step outside of it and, surround yourself by people that are willing to challenge that convention as well, and have a crack at changing. Otherwise, our kids are going to grow up in it, and their kids and their kids and their kids. And if you think it's going to be different, look at the history of America. Touted as one of the greatest nations in the world. That place is stuffed, but it's always been stuffed. It's just been like bubbling under the surface. They've had slavery there. Now they got systematic eradication of Black people by police. Like, all of that stuff that's the prevalent system. But when you talk about some of the stuff, like, granted, there are some cuckoo conspiracy theorists out there. They're absolutely bananas. But if you look at, the history of civilization, social systems, economic systems, if you do the work, you understand you can track slavery right back to the Spanish Inquisition. Like, you understand the system, you've done the homework, then you can really have a crack at disrupting it even further. So that's my why, because the system is shit and we need to change it for our people, is our why. That's
cool. It's very similar to ours, kind of similar, a little bit similar, you know, wanting to change the statistics for our people. And that's why this Kapu Tī with WE has been so important to us. You know, just trying to get more of our stories out there and share the successes and, you know, how we've come from adversity, and that we can, because if our rangatahi can see us in these places and spaces, then hopefully they can be in these places and spaces too. I think too often we hide from, you know, being too whakamā, you know, too shy or too shamed, or, you know, not wanting to put ourselves out there. And so we, you know, we tend to hide and try and be that humble person. But what that does is it stops our rangatahi from seeing us as role models. So I really, yeah, grateful for your kōrero and for the work that you do, and for the stories that we're going to be able to tell, like Sarah's and Andy Hamilton. We've got him coming on in a couple of weeks too, which is going to be really exciting. So really
we have
cool
to like systematically change it, you know, like we really do. Otherwise it's just more of the same, just more of the same. Like the stats are the stats, but we just like need to like design our way forward into a new life for ourselves, and dare to have the courage to step out into the world, say, this is me, this is all of me, man, it's awesome. And like all of these people standing next to me are really awesome as well. And we've got something incredible to offer, but let's like really focus that at, you know, some big goals and some big opportunities, and knock them off.
Absolutely. Now, I'm wary that we've gone over half an hour, but I think I could talk to you for like ever, because we've had quite a number of conversations, and every time is about something different.
Yeah.
This is very awesome. How about then, you know, you've been on this entrepreneurial journey for just over a year, all your time at Xero, all the things that you've done. What are some of the key learnings that you've had that you look back on now and you think, oh yeah, you know, that definitely changed me, or I definitely learned that, or, you know, stuff that you would like to share with other people that might be listening today, like maybe something that they can learn from your story and your journey?
I think if there's any advice that I could give, is to really get comfortable with all of you, and so comfortable and confident inside of that, that you really, really understand your strengths, and inside of yourself, you're convicted of your ability to do something great based on your strengths. Like, you know, you absolutely know that you can nail this better than 98% of people in the world. Like, I am in the top 2% of people, I reckon, in this. Might be the smallest thing. It might be in like smoothing off a curb on the side of the road, whatever the small, like whatever your thing is. But really understand that, be comfortable in who you are, everything that you are, and then take that out into the world. Take the full version out into the world. Don't be like, I work in a corporate environment, all my work colleagues are Europeans, and so I need to, like, you know, be this kind of caramel version of myself, when really I'm pango. Like, just be you, and just be the best version. Have the confidence to step out and be you, because the world doesn't need any more of that. They need more people like you. But what you need to do is have the confidence in yourself and your ability to go out there and absolutely nail that best version of yourself in whatever that superpower of yours is. And then so wherever you choose to apply that, that's where you should focus and just live the best version of yourself. Like there's all kind of business theory and mindset and, you know, all that type of stuff. And there's the discipline of marketing, and there's building stuff at scale, and all of that stuff. It's kind of tactical, because if you don't believe in yourself, then you'll just continue to undermine yourself, and you won't be the full version of yourself. And if there's one thing that has got me through, is that when nobody else believed in me, I had confidence in myself. And because I don't need you or anybody else to define me, what your opinion is of me does not affect my internal world or who I am or what I can do. That's just your opinion. And only you have to live with that. And you ain't going to make me live with that because that's your opinion. And so, if my internal world is right, then it doesn't really matter what anyone tells me that I can or cannot do. And, just be that best version of yourself, and then just live into that consistently, and like good things should follow. It's not business advice.
But it is business advice, because I really do believe that to grow a business, you have to grow the leader. And if you're not confident in yourself and you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to take the risks and the challenges that it might take. And you're not going to put yourself out there wholly. And, potentially you're not going to get the value that you deserve. So I think that is great business advice.
Yeah. And if it's about, if you're talking about leadership, then by definition, a leader has people on their team. Right. And business is about leadership. And I think there's too often business and entrepreneurship is portrayed as a solo pursuit. Like we idolize Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or Oprah Winfrey, or like we hold up all like Gary Vaynerchuk, or like we hold up individuals. But like those people literally had thousands of people that were working with them to bring that vision to life. And so if there's one thing that I see in so many people is that when they're trying to scale a business, they take this position that it kind of has to be all of them, and it's about no one can do this job as good as me. Well, that may be so, but there's only one of you. So your business ain't going to grow beyond you if you can't teach somebody to do that part of your job. And growing people is probably the most critical thing you'll do as you grow your business. If you can't grow people, if you can't be a leader and lead and help other people self-actualize and become the best versions of themselves inside of who they want to be and inside your vision for your organization, you ain't going to get far.
So true. And a lesson that I have to learn every now and then too.
We all do, right? We all do. Like I'm probably the opposite. I leave you too much to your devices, then I get pissed off when you don't completely comprehend the 3-word brief that I've given you. Get it done.
Don't you get it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's that, right? Because when you have that team working with you, and it's hard to bring on the team because as much as it's about growing people, there's also this financial equation. There's a cost equation. And so like as a business owner, you can get caught up in, man, I want to pay the smallest amount I can for the best person I can get. I want to get like a $200,000 talent for 60 grand and make them happy about it. That shit does not work. It does not work. Because number one, there ain't no $200,000 talents waiting to take 60 grand. If they got $200,000 talent, like they're not coming down for 60 grand. They don't give a shit about your vision. Your vision ain't bigger than 140 grand in salary. And so, you have to be willing to pay to get the right people onto your team. That's it. It's there's a law of sacrifice. If you want it, you have to pay for it. How much is it? Okay, you want it? Yeah, you got to pay for it. And that's how you get the best people. But like so often we go, I'm going to try to get this cheaper version. And like what you get is the cheaper version. You don't get the full version. And so, give me one good person over 3 people where I'm trying to just get it done more cheaply any day. But like that's about balancing your team and having the right senior person, the right mid-level person, the right junior person, and growing people and all that composition. If you don't get that right, it can get kind of tough.
I'm into that. Oh, gosh. All right, Pat, we better wind it up because we've been going for like 45 minutes now. And I'm told people it'll be half an hour. But
It's all
it's
right. They can edit it down.
well, it's live, so it's already out there.
Oh wow.
But it's okay because I think there's so much great stuff in there. So I'm so glad that we did. But hey, look, just again, thank you so much for the work that you've done, and just so that everybody knows, so you can check out Manaaki and their platform if you aren't already on the platform. It's manaaki.io. You can go in there and you can buy goods, not yet services,
That's
but
choice.
goods.
Choice.
Oh, that's
Choice is where you
choice.
can buy stuff. Yeah,
Right.
it's choice.
Manaaki is where you can go if you're a small business owner and you've got any questions or queries and you need some
That's the
advice.
one.
They'll be able to help you with that. Absolutely. And I've got this little thing. So
And
so
choice is if
Manaaki.
you're a small business. Yeah, choice if you're a small business and micro business. You just want to reach a good audience, sell stuff. Develop a side hustle. That women have been majorly impacted inside of their families by unemployment and reduced income, and so it's a good place to just go and get your side hustle going, get some more income into your family, into your household. So go check out choice, your CHOOICE.co.nz if you want to get in there and start growing your side hustle.
If you need anything later, just so
What happened there? Oh, here I am. Where am I?
still there?
Yeah, I think I'm here. What happened? Oh, wow.
Close up the broadcast.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks so much, Pat.
Bye.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
I'm back.
Anyway,
See ya.
tomorrow night we have Christian Prescott from
Yes.
Clean New Zealand. He is
Yes.
who I will be interviewing, 23-year-old Tongan young man doing really inspiring, incredible things. So I'm really excited about talking to him tomorrow. So 8 o'clock tomorrow, we will see you then.
10K better off too. See you later.